Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is July the 18th. 3 more WNBA games on the board for today. We'll jump right into them. Before we do, yesterday, I gave you guys my best bet, which was the Phoenix Mercury and the Connecticut Sun over the 163.5. It didn't matter if you got 63, 64, 65. Absolute winner last night. I needed that. Because that was the thing that I had actually officially played by, the time I did the show, but I also had played the Sparks. I talked about liking the Sparks yesterday, team total over, or, just them to win the game outright against Chicago yesterday. And they did not come through last night. The Sparks, I don't know. Maybe I just took the wrong, I don't know. Chicago played better than I thought. That ended up being a loser. I didn't make any live bets because all the games were pretty much on at the same time. Kicking myself for not taking the Indiana Fever and Seattle Storm game over. I was a little hesitant about Seattle's offense, but then Aaliyah Boston got ruled out and Caitlin Clark got ruled in, and you just always take overs if that ever happens in life. And they finished with 200 plus points yesterday, so that was an easy winner, and I left that money on the board yesterday. So see if so one overall 1-1 day for myself yesterday. I talked about Kelsey Mitchell 3. She did get there. She shot 3 for 8 from the 3-point line. I think that was it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna play the Atlanta game. I stayed away from that, and I think that was it yesterday. Yeah, I think that was it. All right, so let's jump into it for today. We'll start off with Jackson, AI Sports Betting Tool. Link in the description of the video. I asked Jackson for totals today. Prompt is analyze today's WNBA slate to identify highest value opportunity for game totals, over-unders, highlight matchups with the largest discrepancy between current sportsbook line and projected outputs based on team pace, possessions per game, offensive defensive efficiency ratings over the last 5, head-to-head historical trends, specifically factoring in rest advantage and travel schedules and missing key rim protectors or high-volume shooters. Provide the data, the pace projections, and the analytical reasoning for each over-under. So I'll give you guys the first one, which is typically the top one, and that is New York Liberty and Indiana Fever over the 178.5. It says this is minus 110 pretty much everywhere, but it has FanDuel show here. So the analytical reasoning and pace projections, it says this matchup features the highest scoring team over the last 5 games, the Indiana Fever at 95.6 points per game, against the New York Liberty team that has seen the over hit in 7 games as road favorites. My pace projections for this contest is approximately 81.1, which combined with Indiana's league worst defensive efficiency, 114, suggests a high scoring environment. The Fever are playing the second leg of a back-to-back after a grueling 110-107 win versus Seattle. While Caitlin Clark is probable, the Indiana Fever's defense was described by Clark herself as embarrassing in their last outing. Crucially, Indiana's primary rim protector, Aaliyah Boston, is out, which she should return. Just a caveat. Without Boston to anchor the paint, New York's interior duo of Breanna Stewart and Jacko Jones should find little resistance. So historical trends, the over is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings between these two teams. New York is also tended to the over away from home this season, indicating the defensive intensity dropped significantly on the road, allowing 89.2 points per game compared to 84.5 overall. So pick is over in that game. All right, let's get into it for today, man. 3 games, let's get through them and try to be quick. So first one is Portland and Minnesota. This line was at 11.5 when it opened after the Portland Fire beat the Washington Mystics the other day. So injury report wise here, we do have Meg Gustafson. She's not with the team for personal reasons. And then Carly Sampson, I feel like she's always listed as game time decision. She is. And Holly Winterborn is also listed as out in this game as well. So let me get to my notes real quick. And then on the other side, of course, no fee, but that's pretty much it. So for this Portland team, it's the last of a 4-game road trip. They played 7 of their last 8 games on the road. 8 of their last 10 have been played on the road. They're coming off that 6.5. They're coming off that win as a 6.5 point dog, and they've covered 7 of their last 10 games, including 5 of their last 6 as well. So Portland, not in a great spot, right? Whenever you're playing last game of a 4-game road trip, whenever you play 7 of your last 8 on the road, whenever you played 8 of your last 10 on the road, typically a fade spot, at least in the NBA. In the WNBA, man, some of these spots don't really matter. They've been, like 14.5 is a big number to lay with the Minnesota Lynx. Portland has been just kind of, if it's a close spread, maybe they lose. But if they're getting, this big of a number, I think I looked at it, they were 2-2 ATS so far this season. Most recent two, they've covered both of them. On the Minnesota side of things, they are playing the last game of a 4-game homestand. And on a 4-game winning streak as well. They've actually failed to cover, though. Depending on the line that you got against the Liberty, they've actually failed to cover in 6 straight, and they played in 6 straight overs. This is the second matchup between the two teams. Minnesota won the first one, 107-74. So smoked them. They covered the 13.5-point line. That game went over the total of 174.5, and that's what the total we have in this game. It went over by 19.5 points, and that was because, Minnesota did all the heavy lifting. Portland stayed under their team total with just 74 points. So now you're expecting Portland to get to about 80 in this game, and Minnesota got to get about 95 in this game. Do I think it's doable? Yes, I do think it's doable. So I'll lean over. Probably won't play the game. I think, looking at Portland's defense, is not great by any stretch of the imagination. Without Meg Gustafson down there to anchor the paint even more. She's not the greatest defender. I do think that Minnesota's gonna have their way. Like Olivia Miles to Natasha Howard is gonna be a problem for this Portland defense. Yes, they just held the Washington Mystics to 56 points in their last game, but Washington's probably one of the worst offenses that we've probably ever seen in life. So I'll lean over. I do think that, one of my thought processes in this game is that Minnesota won't care too much about the game, which is why I don't want to lay points with them. But it don't mean that they don't want to go out there and score. Everybody want to score, right? So if we go over to outlier, we look at Natasha Howard. Olivia Miles, I know she's been killing it, but we'll take a look at her assists as well. Natasha Howard has been struggling as far as scoring the basketball recently, hitting the 16.5-point line. You see that she's under in 4 of her last 4 straight and 5 of her last 6. But this should be the game where she should play really, really well. You can see head-to-head wise, she did get to 18 points, shot 6 for 11 in that game. It feels like a Natasha Howard type game. When you look at this Portland defense real quick, let's see if I can get it pulled up. When you look at Portland's defense overall, they're not the worst 3-point defense, but they give it up in the paint, man. They just give up a lot of stuff at the rim. They give up a lot of stuff, just in general in that restricted area type facility. So I do think that Natasha Howard should be good in this game. It should be a nice spot for her. And then I talked about Olivia Miles. It's just kind of, she's just really, really good. So looking at her assist prop, and here's the other thing I got to say about Olivia Miles. Remember, she did get hurt in that last game when they were playing against the Sparks. She went down in that game, but she's not on the injury report. So we'll see if they, limit her minutes or anything like that. But 5.5 assists feels criminally low, which is why it's minus 147 on DraftKings. But, taking her assist ladder, I don't think would be bad. This is a team that gives up the most assists in the WNBA. You can see that right here. She can down. We know she can down. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was able to, crush her assist line. She got the 5 in this last game right here. I'm not sure how many potential she had. I didn't look too deeply into it. But those are things that I would look at in this game. Not one that I'm probably going to end up playing, though, just transparently. I think if I do end up playing anything, it'll probably be live. I don't love the game at all. Don't love this game at all. So let's keep pushing. Let's get to the next one. So we have, let's see. All right, so next up we have the New York Liberty and the Indiana Fever. Line is currently sitting at about 2. You can get some 1.5s out there. It was 1.5. Looks like 2 is the line. 2.5s are there now as well. In total, 179.5 is consensus. This open at 170, as low as 172.5 on Hard Rock and FanDuel and Caesars. So it's moved, about 7 points. So if you get, if you're trying to get it now, it might be a little bit too late. But as Jackson said, the over in this game makes a ton of sense. So Leone Fevish being out, Satu Sabli being out, which more so Leone Fevish being out because defensively she's really, really good. And I gave you guys those numbers when I was breaking down the game against the Dallas Wings that got canceled the other day. So without those two, I do think that, this New York Liberty defense continues to struggle, even though they do have, 5 days off now. Aaliyah Boston, I'm expecting to return. Caitlin Clark will probably sit in this game. So we got a New York team that's coming off 3 straight losses, a 3rd straight road game for them. But again, they've had 5 days off of rest since that Dallas game got canceled. They don't play again until Wednesday when they go back home to play against Chicago. So no look ahead spot. And then, of course, for the Fever, it's the second leg of a back-to-back 3rd and 4 and 3rd straight home game for them. New York has won the last 3 matchups, including the earlier one this season, 83-75 as a 3.5-point favorite. That game did stay under the 174.5. This total, in my opinion, is tricky because if Caitlin Clark doesn't play, the defense instantly gets better. The pace slows down. And Aaliyah Boston does play, the defense gets a lot better. And the New York Liberty coming off 3 straight losses, you would think that they were able to, just kind of muster up some defense as well. I know that they've been 8-0 to the over when they land points on the road and just 1-7 ATS as well. So this line looks tricky. I think that the Liberty can get the job done in this spot. I think that they should be the favorite. I think that, coming off 5 days rest and 3 straight losses, it should be a spot where they, win. And also, I think one of the things I was looking at the spot for the I'm having a brain fart. For the Indiana Fever, with them playing not just on the second leg of a back-to-back, but on the second leg of a back-to-back. See if I can find it. Yeah, a second leg of a back-to-back when they were down, because remember they jumped out on Seattle early yesterday. They ended up going down by 7 points. I think they were losing by 8 at the end of the 3rd quarter. So teams that are coming off a win where they had to come from behind by 8 points or more and they're unrested are just 23-30 if they're playing unrested in the next game. 22-30-1 ATS, so about 42%. And they typically lose those games. It looks like they are 0-4 last 4, 0-5 ATS last 5. So that tells me that the Liberty should be able to get the job done. I mean, significant rest advantage in this game, 5 days to 1. The longer the game goes on, the more it should favor the New York Liberty. And from a player prop perspective in this one, I think, Jacquel, the Fever defense is soft in the middle. They typically take away 3-pointers. So, the Liberty going to have to not BS around and shoot a bunch of 3-pointers like they typically enjoy doing. Jacquel Jones going to have to go down low and, bang with, be able to get it out the mud down there, against Leah Boston. And I think because that matchup is tough, I would lean on Stewie a lot in this game. I would look at her points prop over. Not even sure what the line is. I didn't look too deeply into it. But, I would be looking at Stewie, her points prop in this game, in the New York Liberty in this game. Staying away from the total in this one because, in my opinion, it is a bit tricky. I did have some systems to back Indiana yesterday when I was looking into this game, but yeah. The other thing, real quickly, if I'm talking about this game, is I'm kind of looking through Indy's last 10 games, right? And I was doing this yesterday, and they've played. They haven't played much competition in their last 10 games, in my opinion. So if I'm poking holes in their recent schedule, to my opinion, it's kind of easy. So stay with me. They beat Aces twice, right? That's impressive. Both were in Vegas as well. However, Las Vegas was playing unrested one time, after smacking the Phoenix Mercury. And then the other game they beat the Aces in Vegas was without Asia. Next, they beat the Sparks twice, which everybody's doing that. They beat Phoenix twice, which everybody's doing that. And they lost to Phoenix as well. They lost to the good team that they played against, like Golden State. They lost to Atlanta twice when Atlanta was playing some of their best basketball back in mid-June. Livs need this game. I think they are the right side. I did take the Liberty in this game. Money line -125 on DraftKings. So yeah, I'll be on the Libs in this game. And if I'm looking at player props, it's probably Stewie. over her points because I think she got the best matchup, in my opinion. It's going to be really difficult for them to match up with Stewie. So that's my thought process on this game. All right, last one is Washington and Golden State. We got to spread this up to 9.5 now. This open 8.5. Total was all the way as low as 150. So it opened at 150 when Washington had lost to Portland the other day, is what I saw. And total went all the way as low as 146. Now it's back up to 149.5. And kind of agree with the move coming back up, man. I know that this is the best defense and the second best defense. Well, I think it's the best defense and let me just double check. The third best defense. Washington's the third best defense. We know that the Golden State Valkyries are the best defensive team in the WNBA. It's not even close. We got clean injury reports for both sides. A Washington team that's coming off a loss to Phoenix because they just can't score. Back-to-back unders for them. Their last two wins came against the Toronto team that's really, really struggling, down some key players, in Seattle. Two teams that, in my opinion, are struggling at the bottom of the standings. So I can understand why the money is coming on Golden State and push this from 8.5 up to 9.5. Now for Golden State, there's two situational things here, right? First one is their first game back home off a 5-game road trip. But that's the first one. And typically it's a flat spot, right? Typically teams don't play that well. However, they do have 2 days of rest in this spot. And that's the other situational spot that you love for the Golden State Valkyries. This is the hottest team in the WNBA. They've won 8 straight. Washington has a chance to get some revenge because they did lose 62-49. The last time that these two teams played, Golden State was laying 7.5, got the job done. In Washington, that was 12 days ago. The game stayed well under the 154.5 total. Stayed under about 44.5 points, crazy enough. Sonya Citron didn't play in that game, though. Washington shot 12% from the three-point line. I think they hit 1 3. This Washington team is really, really bad at times. Coming off a 56-point game against Portland as well. You just never know what you're going to get from them. Golden State has now beaten Washington all 5 times. They've covered all 5 spreads. And this dates all the way back to last season, when they first came into the league. Couple things I looked at. Golden State at the crib with at least 2 days rest. 11-6 straight up, 13-4 against the number. They win by an average of 7 points dating back to beginning of last season. And then on the Washington side of things, this is typically their role. You typically want to take the Mystics when they're getting points on the road. They're both 5-4 straight up and against the spread when they're catching points on the road, including 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers as road dogs, and a perfect 3-0 straight up and against the spread when they're coming off a loss as a favorite. However, those 3 games came against Seattle, Chicago, and Portland. And this is not Seattle, Chicago, or Portland. So, yeah, I kind of feel like the Valkyries will be able to score even against this Mystics defense. I kind of want to take the Golden State Valkyries on the point spread and Golden State for the game. I know that the Mystics, this is their role, but I know they're out to seek some revenge as well. But I think the Valkyries, I think they're the right side, man. One thing I want to show you guys real quick, and then I'll do a recap and get out of here. I want to show you guys this real quick. This is what I found on the Valkyries. Y'all take this and put it in your notebooks, man. Put it in your notebooks. All right, so not that. I thought I had it pulled up already. I guess I don't. Dang. All right, let's see if I can find it real quick. All right, so it was this dates back all the way to last season. Valkyries as at home, they have more rest than their opponent, which they have, I think it's 2 days of rest compared to 1. The Valkyries are, let me zoom in real quick so you guys can see this. So the Valkyries are, you guys can see this, 11-0 ATS. They cover by average of 13 points. 8-3 to the under. Games stay under by about 10 points. 3-0 ATS this season, covering by average of 14 points. And 2-1 to the under, staying under by about 14.5 points. This is like the Valkyries at the crib with more rest than you, man. Like give Natalie Nakase more, time to prep for the game than you get. The Mystics traveling cross country from west to east, from east to west. Like it should be a Valkyrie spot. So that's the only way. I think this is a super strong trend. 11-0, man. ATS, and I think the Valkyries get the job done in this game. They just play such great defense, man. I love this team. Love watching them play. Never really know who to bet on for them. Could be Veronica Burton, could be Gabby Williams, could be Kayla Thornton hitting threes. Like, it could be any of that. But yeah, if I'm betting this game, man, give me the Valkyries. And maybe, Washington team total is like 70.5. They average 80, I think. So maybe something live. But I think the Valkyries get the job done in this spot. So that's what I'm thinking for the games for today, man. Quick recap real quick. Let's do a quick recap and then we'll get out of here. I'm always talking for the longest amount of time, man. I apologize. All right, so New York, I bet them on the money line, minus 125 on DK. Think they get the job done. I would be looking at Stewie points in that game. And then Portland, Minnesota. I don't really want to play the game, but I kind of think it goes over if I'm betting anything in that game. And then be Natasha Howard over her 16.5 points. And lean over, but probably won't play that. And Golden State, I think they get the job done today. Minus 9.5. Washington team total is 70.5. I kind of think Golden State can score too. Their team total was like 77.5 too, and I kind of think that they could be able to get to, I think that they can get to 70. It's not. I mean, they average more than that. I know the Valkyries defense is pretty good, but it's up to 79.5 now. You can get a 78.5 from Pinnacle. Yeah, I'll just lead a 9.5. I think they can get the job done today. So these are the ways I'm looking at the game today, man. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the games. Resources all listed in the description of the video. Check them out. Jackson, Outliers, what I use for all my player props. Player props been doing pretty well. You know what? I forgot one. Speaking of, let's go back real quick. Let's just do a quick detour. I did bet this yesterday. I totally forgot about this. I bet, and you can still get the odds. I wasn't going to talk about it because I thought the odds were going to change. But let's go back real quick before we finalize this. I bet Georgia Moore under her 3.5 assists, and I parlayed this with the Minnesota Lynx money line and got minus 120 on DraftKings, I think. So if we look at her assists listed at 3.5. I bet this under. It was juice though, so minus 156. I think I got minus 160 yesterday. I thought it was gonna get worse. Minus 156 though, I love it. Actually, I wouldn't mind playing this straight. We know that this Golden State team gives up the fewest assists in the WNBA. You can see that here. They only give up 18. Georgia Moore is under. You can see this in 6 of her last 10. She's only averaging 3.4. Her potential assists are also like down. I was looking into this yesterday. When she's playing a team that's top 5 in assists allowed, she's only over in 1 of her 4 games, only averaging 2.3 assists in that game. She went over against Connecticut. She got the 5, but she also had 2 against Connecticut in the other game and 2 against the Chicago Sky. And then when she played the Valkyries, 12 days ago, she had 1 assist. Oh, she had 0 assists, I'm sorry, on 4 potentials. So I don't think the potentials will be there for her today. I forgot about that. I added that. But yeah, Georgia Moore under her 4.5 assists in this game, I think is money. And then especially with Sonia Citron being back, I think the ball will be taken out of her hands a little bit more. Sonia Citron will, try to play make a little bit more. So I did bet that as well. I totally forgot about that. You guys can still bet that too. And you probably can get better odds than me. So let me update that real quick. That is an official play. Georgia Moore under 3.5 assists. I never parlay anything, but Minnesota should be able to win the game. And that was minus 120, I think it was. So yeah, those will be the 2 plays I probably end up rocking with for today. Everything else I'll probably just try to catch live. All right, so that'll be the show. Shout out to Outlier, man. Moneyballer on here as well. Jim, you guys check them out. Enjoy your day, man. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the weekend. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.